Hello, everyone, and welcome again to another Teacher Joseph podcast. Well, today we're going to talk about pub snacks. That's right. So, if you are in a pub in Europe, in many countries, when you buy a beer or a glass of wine, they'll give you a little plate of something that might be something nice like nuts or crisps, or it perhaps could be something like snails. If you're in the north of Spain or France, they're considered to be a delicacy. Not for me, they're not, but anyway. So, what do you get in the UK if you buy a beer or something like this? Well, the answer is usually nothing. So when I was a boy, I do remember most pubs would offer you a little plate of crisps or some nuts or something complimentary. But I think that's a practice that ended a long time ago because for pubs these days, it's hard for them to survive. And of course, they want to save money at every opportunity. If you go to a small pub in the countryside, you might find there that you're offered some crisps or something like that. But generally speaking, it's no longer a practice. However, you can still buy things to go with your beer, and you might be surprised at what British people choose because we have no love of food. So when it comes to putting alcohol and food together, we don't really understand what it is that we should do because as I've mentioned before, we don't really taste food. We just eat it. So we think to ourselves, oh, yeah, yeah, beer, I should have something with this. I'll just buy this. And in the case of the UK, some of the things that they eat, which are popular, pickled eggs. I mean, can you imagine drinking a beer and having pickled eggs? Ooh, in vinegar? Oh no. No, I couldn't. But yet, many people do ask for that when they're at the pub. Another thing people ask for are twiglets. Twiglets are, well, how can I describe twiglets? It's like a really depressing snack, which tastes like wet wood. So, no, no, that's not on my list. Another thing that some people ask for, simple peanuts or wasabi peanuts, which are ones with spices on them, or cashew nuts, that's another one, um, or a pork pie. Yeah, I mean, that really is British nationalism on a plate. Oh no, pork. Oh, ew, even the thought of it, especially wrapped up in a really heavy pastry. Oh, that's very English. It's also an idiom. If someone says to you, "Are you telling me pork pies?" It means, "Are you telling me a lie? Are you not telling me the truth?" We often hear that. Someone might say, "Oh, you're telling a pork pie," or sometimes it's abbreviated to, "Are you telling me porkies?" I think that's a porky, meaning pork pie lie. It's a rhyming slang, probably Cockney. I don't know where it originated from, but you hear that a lot. Yeah, plain crisps is another one. Oh, salt and vinegar crisps. Oh no, no. I mean, don't they just sound cheap? You buy a nice, expensive glass of wine, and you're handed something that's really, really cheap to go with it, like salt and vinegar crisps. Oh no, no. Um, we have another snack here called mini cheddars. Oh, that's like small biscuits with artificial cheese in the middle. Here's another one, pickled onions. Why would you want to eat a really strong pickled food with alcohol? Mm. And Scotch eggs. Oh, that's another thing that's really not good. It's like an egg, and it's cooked in a heavy batter of breadcrumbs, but really, really heavy. It looks like the stuffing you would put on chicken. Um, Sausage rolls, chips, chips and beer. Oh, sounds very fattening, doesn't it? Pringles, I suppose, bearable. Any port in a storm. Um, Bacon flavor fries. They just don't even look appetizing. And there's a whole host of pork and bacon things that people like to have. By the way, speaking of bacon, that just reminds me. Of course, bacon is not allowed for certain religious groups, and that's fine. I heard a report, it must be a few months ago now, that Greece has banned, in other words, prohibited the the manufacture of halal meat because it recognizes that it's barbaric towards animals. That's one of those debates that's never going to go away. Actually, did you know in the UK, if you go to a supermarket and you buy anything with meat inside of it, it's probably already going to be halal. For example, I think a few years ago, it was discovered that most meat in British supermarkets was halal. And there was a big discussion about it because no one was informed, nobody knew. Christians said that they didn't have a right to choose and all of the rest of it. And that's something which is still ongoing. So if your child goes to school and you're wondering, is the meat halal? It will be. You can ask them, but it will be. Everything here is. McDonald's, yes. Kentucky Fried Chicken, KFC, yes. All of our major suppliers stock halal meat, as do most restaurants. So we never have to ask, even if it is. So if these kind of things worry you, don't let them. They're so common that we don't even have to comment upon them. And I'm sure it's probably the same for most minorities because we tend to make sure we cater for everyone so that there's no discrimination. Otherwise, someone will come along and say, "Oh, what about me?" So, yeah, but I'm not sure what's happening in Greece, why they would want to do that. It sounds a bit racist, doesn't it? But I'm sure that they have some reason for it. We had our emergency alarm on Sunday. The government's been testing a new emergency service which is designed to bleep our mobile phones, even if our phones are on silent, to tell us of impending doom or a threat to life. So on Sunday, I was waiting patiently at 3 o'clock for my phone to bleep, and of course it didn't. I don't know why it didn't, but it didn't work, and apparently it only worked for half the population. So they're doing it again today, although I don't know what time they're doing it. And yeah, I heard other people's telephones bleeping with this alert. It was kind of a beep, beep, beep. It was a kind of alert that would tell me that Lidl has a sale of, well, maybe tomatoes if they ever come back to the supermarket. It didn't make me feel like it was an emergency. It made me feel like the supermarket is selling chocolate cheap or something. I don't know how else to describe it. Well, if I was crossing a road, it might have uh, it might have informed me that a car was reversing or a truck was reversing. It was that kind of noise, but it wasn't very threatening. You know, I didn't feel like I wanted to run anywhere when I heard it. It was more a kind of reminder. Oh, need to buy ice cream. Thanks, Alexa. You know, that kind of thing. So, yeah, they're doing that again today. So, it'll be interesting to hear if it's different today. Although my phone, to make sure it's switched off. I don't want to be in the middle of an italki lesson and suddenly bleep, bleep, bleep. I'll be thinking, oh, my bread's ready. It doesn't really feel much threat, you know. It's so strange when I think of our government, you know, everything is so soft and gentle now. You know, we don't really seem to have anything that frightens us anymore. I'm not advocating that they bring out some artificial intelligence to terrify us, but yeah, everything seems to be just mentally soft and fine, even our emergency alarms. But then that is very British, isn't it? Well, that's it from me. I'll catch up with you all again soon, and I wish you a wonderful day. Bye.